Hello and welcome to the Parenting Through Inner Power podcast. When you are interacting with your child, or when your child has asked you a question, or you have asked your child a question, whatever it is, whatever the interaction is, whatever kind of conversation you are making with your child, you always have two choices, right? The first one would be to just speak out whatever comes to your mind, mostly triggered by the pain body that you are carrying or by the monkey mind, right? You're not so much aware of the words that you are using at that point of time. The second choice that you could make is responding to your child from a total state of awareness, right? Being aware of your emotions. Maybe you were tired because of your household, the work that you have done, or maybe your office work that you have done, or maybe some other ailing person who you've been attending to at home. Yes, you also are going through lots of emotions, lots of feelings and thoughts and various things that you are already processing in your own internal self. So when you are responding to your child, it's not necessary that you should wear a mask, or you shouldn't it's not that you shouldn't feel your pain. It's not that you should ignore your pain. It's not that you should ignore or you should control your anger, or ignore your tiredness, or ignore your frustration, right? It's simply that just become aware of these emotions. Just become aware that yes, I was tired, I want to actually react this way, but I do not want to do that, right? Once you come into awareness, you will get into this state where you want to do something, but you do not intend to do it. It is not your intention to do it. Maybe you just did it because your monkey mind wants you to do, that's all. So let me give you an example, a real life example. Again, examples and stories are something that I love sharing with people around, with parents specifically around. So yes, let me give you a real life example. So just imagine you are in a conversation with your child, okay, and your child, obviously again, the way that an adult speaks is different from the way the child speaks. Maybe the tone of the language, or maybe that just the tone, or the kind of rhythms the child uses, or maybe just uh, the modality, right? The modality of whatever the child is using when the child is speaking something, right? So yes, the parent and child are in a conversation. The parent is already tired, very tired, right? And then the child speaks something that actually didn't make sense to the parent. Okay, so the parent asked again, the child said the same thing, and it didn't make sense to the parent, right? And the parent was already, I think the parent was folding the clothes or something, and yes, already tired and overburdened with all the tasks around. That's not something that is uncommon. That's common to everybody out there. Now, so the child, having repeated the same thing in the same tone, in the same voice modulation, and the parent not understanding it repeated number of times, the parent said, speak properly, right? The parent said to the child, speak properly. Now, I don't know what impact it made to the child. I'm sure it definitely made some kind of damaging impact as well. Now, the child just walked into another room where she has a sibling, or she has a friend, or she has a cousin. Even if it is not right at that moment, maybe one day later, or 2 days later, or even 1 week later, or even 1 month later, right? She gets to interact with another friend, with another person, with a sibling, with another cousin. That is when the interaction that the parent has, I mean the impression that the parents speak properly, has the impression that this has made in the child's subconscious will start to act out, right? The child will start to act out based on these impressions that the adult statement made in the child's subconscious. One way of false programming that is being done of the child's subconscious. Now, the child who is now interacting with another sibling, or as I told you, friend, cousin, sibling, teacher, child, anybody out there, the other person who is with the child again is trying to say something, and the child doesn't understand properly. The same thing which has happened between a parent and a child is now being replicated in this scenario, right? And the child just says, speak properly. This response of the child, speak properly, to that another young child has come, again not intentionally, but it has come because she was responded with this statement, speak properly, by the parent. Whereas the parent actually had a choice to get to the child's level and try to understand, try to connect with the child, to understand what the child was actually saying. The child could be a 4-year-old, the child could be a 7-year-old, the child could be an 8-year-old. The child could even be a teenager for that matter. It doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter. It's about how much attempt you make to connect to your child at his or her frequency, and then make an attempt to understand what's going on in their world, understand what's going on in their world of, again, their world of thoughts, feelings, emotions, words and actions. Right? The simple example, the simple thing that has happened, it seemed simple to the parent, and the parent also justifies himself or herself saying, I was tired and she's just repeating the same thing so many times, I just asked her to speak properly. What's wrong in that? No, there's nothing wrong in that. There's nobody who can be right or wrong. There are just experiences that are happening, and there are humans, there are people, there are parents who are, and there are children who are learning from these experiences. Right? Children are always learning, are always absorbing many things through these experiences that they have with their parents. So if you want to assess, how do I teach my child to speak kindly? How do I teach my child to understand another person's emotions? How do I teach my child to react the right way? Then just go back into your own being. How are you being with your child? Are you responding, I don't say in the right way, but are you responding from a total state of awareness? Are you doing that? Once you do that, it just automatically gets passed on to the child. It's no more about, what do I teach my child when I'm a parent, but it is about being, right? It is about your being. It is about how conscious you are with however you are responding to your child. Thanks for listening. Bye. Cheers. Bye bye.